Hey people, welcome to another episode of the 2023 general elections presidential race basically. And our country continues to have fresh gist every day. Today we're going to be focusing on why Atiku is the best political candidate for the PDP. Yeah, for adventure, for those of us who are currently watching this video, yeah, you exactly who's watching this video that has not subscribed or liked this video, please hit the subscribe button for more notifications around videos like this, and then also make sure that you like the content. If you like the content, you can put up your comments. I respond to every single comment because I cherish you. Yeah, quickly we'll go to the video today, and we understand that there are two major parties in Nigeria, the APC and the PDP, and they have certain setups. Yeah, certain setups. They are built on structures that almost define who steps out as their presidential candidates. APC was built around the strengths of two particular individuals, and the PDP was built around political order and the blessings of a godfather. So we're going to be talking about the PDP particularly, not the APC today. And we're going to be looking at why Atiku is the best political candidate for the PDP. Always underline the fact I mentioned political candidates. Now, when we look at the place of godfatherism, of course, we can say that both the APC and the PDP, though in a different way, takes advantage of this particular structure. When we talk about political order, the PDP is the boss. Today is not the day to talk about the APC, just like I mentioned, and today we're going to focus on the PDP and why Atiku is the best political candidate for the PDP. Okay, the first point today is about the political degrading of Olusegun Obasanjo. Obasanjo was the founding father of the PDP in the new Nigeria. When I talk about the new Nigeria, I'm talking about 1999. Obasanjo was the founding father of the PDP in the new Nigeria. Unlike the APC that needed a lot of parties to merge together, the PDP was driven solely, or you could say possibly driven solely, by one man, in the person of Olusegun Obasanjo, who ended up as the presidential candidate in 1999, won the 1999 elections down to the 2007 when he completed his second term, or you could say his 8 years in the office. Now, when we look at the degrading of this particular man, we understand that Olusegun Obasanjo stood as the pinnacle godfather of the PDP, and he was even able to anoint the likes of Yaradua and even Goodluck Jonathan after him to become the president of this country. Of course, everything ended in Goodluck's second term when there was a degrading of the political strength or the political influence of the godfather himself, Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, since the time of Obasanjo's absence, we can see that Atiku has been able to win the ticket as the presidential aspirant or the presidential candidate of the PDP twice in a row. Now, we go straight to what the second reason is why Atiku is the best political candidate of the PDP. And it is about the old generation. Like I mentioned, PDP always emphasizes the place of political order, and we cannot have this video without talking about the old generation. Atiku is likely the only man left in the old generation of the PDP. Of course, except if you particularize one particular man, his name is Jonathan, who has been given an honorable discharge, as I would call it, out of the political race. So, of course, you don't expect Jonathan contesting at the moment, even though some persons bought tickets for him, whether in the APC or in the PDP, he had been given an honorable discharge since 2015. So, while you look at the place of someone like Saraki, who is not necessarily as young as the new generation like the Tambuas and the Wikis, he is also not exactly part of the old generation like the Atikus, the Obasanjos, and of course the Jonathans, the Yaraduas, and as the case may be. So, we look at the OBs and we say these guys are still too young in the political, and the only reason why they are in the political race at the moment is because PDP had something I call political cleansing, especially after the degrading of Olusegun Obasanjo. And because of this political order, you can see that Atiku stands at the pinnacle of the political order in PDP. Don't forget the fact that we emphasize that the PDP lays a lot of strong and strengthhold or emphasis around political order. And since Atiku stands at the pinnacle of the political order, you expect him to have a better chance of winning the primary elections and standing as their best political candidate. The third point I would like to talk about why Atiku is the best political candidate for the PDP is the delegate influence. While other parties like the APC have a lot of delegates in almost every decanary of the country, they have delegates in almost every local government within Nigeria. we have a PDP who all their delegates are possibly not even up to 5,000 or 10,000 as the case may be. That's why you see that from their past elections, if you sum up all the total votes together, you end up getting maybe something roughly around 4,000 thereabouts as total number of votes for the delegates. Now, in a country that has over 200 million and you expect a man to be able to convince 200 million people to vote for him, he should be able to convince at least 3,000 people to be able to give him the ticket that he needs to end up as the political candidate of the country. So when we look at PDP and we discover that PDP is something that has to do with the delegate's influence, Atiku at the moment currently stands at the pinnacle and definitely will be able to convince at least 3,000 people to vote for him, whether by hook or by crook. The next point, which is one more reason why I would like to say that Atiku is the best political candidate of the PDP. It may not count so much based on the structure of the PDP, but it's also another reason that happened as a reason of the fact that there was a cleansing, a political cleansing after the degrading of Olusegun Obasanjo. This reason is simply because of money. Yeah, that's the fact. It's simply because of money. Atiku, although you could say that money is not completely involved in a party like PDP, who makes emphasis on godfatherism and the blessings of the godfather, as I have said, you must also not write off the fact that money has come to stake a claim in the place of the new PDP. For example, where Atiku is not able to lay strong influences on, he can easily buy the votes, or you could say he purchased the votes so that he can gain the majority. And when you look at the likes of people like Tambua leaving or dropping out of the race at the death of the primaries, of course you ask yourself a question: those who would have voted for Tambua, where would their votes be going to? It's either they choose to not vote for anybody or they decide to vote for the person called Atiku Abubakar. So in a way, you get to have those persons gotten whether by hook or by crook, and then they fall into the hands of the best political candidates of the PDP at the moment. Wrapping up, I will let us know that Atiku has been chosen by the PDP, and in subsequent videos we'll be talking about some of the things that Atiku needs to do for him to be able to win the coveted seat come year 2023. My name remains Shegun, and I'd like to thank us for sticking with us throughout this video. For as many of us who have not subscribed, just like I mentioned earlier, please take it note to actually click on the subscribe button. It just takes a click. You don't pay to subscribe, and of course, if you don't like the content anymore, you can decide to unsubscribe. Although I want you to keep on subscribing. And then for as many of us, you can follow us on our Instagram and do TepTV_productions and TepTV_sports. Bye for now. See you next time. Thank you.